Hi, hello. It is so easy once you find yourself in a dark place to feel like history is just simply repeating itself. I keep on going through the same thing over and over and over again. No matter what I do, I keep finding myself in the exact same spot. And you have to bear in mind when you're in a dark place and you experience, it can look very differently, but if you experience that sort of loss of perspective, loss of optimism, just you kind of lose, I guess, your spark, it feels like it. Of course, that is not going to generate healthy thoughts, okay? So I want you to take your own thoughts with a grain of salt. I think that is always the best advice you can give yourself and others, is that thoughts, no matter how real they seem and no matter how logical they seem, because mind you, when they fit your emotional state, you're gonna be like, that's it. That's it. That's why I feel like that. Like, no wonder I feel so bad. It is because factually, I encounter the same thing over and over again. I keep going through the same thing over and over again. No matter what I do with my life, I keep landing in the same exact spot. So why do I even keep trying? But I want you to understand that that's like a self-feeding cycle, essentially. How you feel will obviously heavily impact your thoughts. That does not make them more true, okay? So let's, for a second, while we're here, try to not fight them, but just not hold on to them. 1 second. All right, now that we're back, why we can feel like that as well is that we keep landing in the same spot is because we have, I feel like, this underlying expectation that life should be linear. Because a lot of things in life are constructed as that. It's like, I don't know, from just a very young age, if you go through school, you go through the motions and you go through the next class and next class and next class, you graduate. But what I find is way more true, and I can't take credit for that because that is something someone presented to me. It's like life is more like a spiral. When I see a spiral, it's like imagine you're in these, what's it called, viewpoints. I don't know the English word for it, but like it's like a thing where you can see like the whole city, let's say, and there's like a round staircase around it, right? So like you walk and you walk and you walk, and there's like certain spots where you can see the same thing over and over again, even though you have just completed a cycle. But then if you are in a similar spot from before, even though that's below or above, it's gonna look pretty much the same. But that does not translate to you are actually in the same spot. The same way the staircase, if you keep moving around it, it will show you different perspectives, whether you perceive it or not. That's the same way life kind of goes. But the only thing, if we stick to that analogy as well, is that life also around you doesn't remain static. I think we forget because we're so hard on ourselves. When a lot of people find themselves, right, when we find ourselves in these really, really, really dark moments and we feel really alone and we feel like life is just really, really hard, we're being very hard on ourselves because we project it back onto us. Like we're not doing something right or we're not doing enough. But if we stick to that analogy, it's like you keep moving around that staircase, but also life around you isn't static. You're not moving like in a museum where everything is carefully curated and kind of stays the same for whatever reminder of time. It's like, no, you keep moving and then everything around you keeps moving. So it's like you're moving in a spiral and life itself is moving in a spiral. So we're constantly presented with new challenges all the flipping time. But we sort of expect ourselves to be above it. There is just so many variables through life that constantly change way beyond our understanding, way beyond speeds we can really understand or keep up with. And I really want to sit with that for a second because we are doing a lot of hard work all the time. Keeping up with life, especially in a time like this. This is the only time we've ever lived in, so I feel like maybe everyone has said that at one point, at any point in life. But still, let's just give ourselves some credit. It's like we are dealing with a whole bunch of stuff that's happening around us. Like you can do everything right and then things around you will just happen and things that you've built can come crashing down. And it doesn't help to take ourselves outside of that and pretend we're bigger than the program, we're part of it. But how does that help, right? Because everything that I just said doesn't take away from being in such dark places in the first place. And like, why do we even have to encounter that? And like, why does it keep coming? And like, if it keeps coming no matter what we do, then what even is the point in trying to improve ourselves, trying to get help for ourselves? Well, because one, we owe it to ourselves to maintain healthy structures around us, even if we don't always feel healthy ourselves. Because once you get to some point in that staircase and things align in a way that the view is more pleasant again, you want to make sure that you are intact, right? Like your body is intact, your feet are working, your eyes are working, like everything is working, and you can take in what's happening around you and you can benefit off of your optimism, and it can help you live life fully. Whereas if you would have let yourself just be sucked into it, it will make it harder and harder to keep up with even the pleasant views that we get, the pleasant circumstance that we have, because we ourselves are not intact anymore. And when I say intact, do not take it as me saying that if you're in a dark place, you're broken. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if we don't continue to try our best to live healthy lives despite how we feel, we will break down the structures in our lives. That's what I mean. Like, let's just say you don't take care of your relationships anymore, you don't take care of your body anymore, you don't take care of whatever matters to you. That's what I'm talking about. You want to make sure that you can uphold these things as best as you can. And it is a whole lot of work when you feel the way that you feel. And if it's like a really dark moment that you're experiencing. I know. But again, we want to make sure that love, that self-love that we have for ourselves is an action. We might not always feel like it, but we owe it to ourselves to uphold a healthy self as best as we can. But then the other thing, and that might almost sound contradictory to what I just said, is that it really helps to realize that life is difficult sometimes. Life can really just be difficult, and it's just not simply on us all the time to feel great. I don't think we have even scratched the surface when it comes to understanding ourselves or the world around us. So what makes us think that we have this level of control over us, that we can just do A, B, C, and D for whatever amounts of times, and then we'll get to a point where we're untouchable, or like we're at this like super balanced I mean, that's always kind of what you want to strive for, right? But the striving for it is kind of the goal. I don't know if it's a realistic goal to expect yourself to be untouched by life, or to never have any inner changes, whether something around you changes or not. We don't understand ourselves to that level. Sometimes I feel like the climate. Sometimes I feel like nothing changes and everything changes within me. I don't understand that. No one understands that. We're trying to understand that, right? We're trying to understand what's going on in our brains. We're trying to understand what's going on, like connection between your gut and your brain, you know, what you can do to improve your well-being. But no one can fully grasp what it means to exist in this life. So don't expect yourself to figure it all out, okay? At first, maybe when you hear that, that sounds like I'm saying just accept your circumstances. That's not really it. What I'm trying to get at is letting go a little bit of that control and that responsibility that you put on your shoulders to be perfectly fine all the time can give you a moment of exhaling, breathing out. Stop holding your breath. It's the opposite of giving up. It means that I'm gonna refuse to act like I can control myself to a level where I'm invincible. And if I'm not invincible, then it's my fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you have a lively inner world that just oftentimes changes. It's just not your fault that sometimes everything can appear fine, but you're not fine on the inside. And I'm sure you've heard that before. Maybe you thought that to yourself. It's like, what is my problem? Like, everything is fine, but I don't feel fine on the inside. Who knows, my love? Who knows? We are complex beings. And of course, as always, there are therapists for a reason, there are doctors for a reason, and this is part of trying to improve and like build healthy structures around us, right? It's like getting help when we need it. But there are just simply things sometimes that we don't understand. And you not getting better sometimes, or you finding yourself in similar spots, in what feels like similar spots, is not a personal failing. It's just the lack of the ability to have this overview over life that makes everything make sense. We can't do that. We can't expect ourselves to do that. We can control a small world within us, around us, and we should do our best. You know, I'm big on responsibility. I'm big on taking accountability and, you know, taking agency. Like, that is really, really important. But there is also things outside of that, and that's okay to not put that on your shoulders too. To sometimes accept that, okay, I've worked really hard and now I feel weird again, and I'm gonna try my best to keep up with everything around me as best as I can, but I am gonna accept myself if I feel less than perfect. I can accept myself if I'm just sad and I don't understand it. I don't have a logical reason. I'm gonna accept it because life is bigger than me. There are things going on around me that are beyond my understanding, and that's okay. I'm gonna try what I can and let go of what's beyond that, because it's just not on you. Like, we can't, I think that pressure sometimes can drive us crazy, and it's that pressure that brings us to this conclusion of like, I've done everything and I'm in the same spot over and over and over again. There's no point in everything. There's always been a point. You building yourself up every single time has built you to the person that you are. And the person that you are is more than just your ability to make yourself feel better or to lessen discomfort, lessen pain. You are so much more than that. You still being here, despite everything that I just said, despite there being so many things that you don't understand, despite life being so difficult, despite it changing at a rate that we can't keep up with, and you're still here every day. That is worth everything. Do not tell yourself that it's worth nothing. You're not in the same spot. You're just at a different spot in a staircase right now where things look like it's the same, but it's not. You've been moving. You have moved. So let's keep moving, okay? Let's take that huge weight off our shoulders. We do the best that we can. That's all we can do. We have to let go of everything else. You know, if winter comes back in the next year, you're not gonna think you're stuck in the same year as previously, right? It's still gonna be another year. You're just experiencing a similar season. You're part of this huge structure that we're just scratching the surface when it comes to understanding it. And that's okay. You're okay. As always, take very, very, very good care of yourself, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.